We're going to do two videos on the Husqvarna Viking Designer EPIC 2 about how to program the memory. We're going to do one with decorative stitches and then a separate one of programming in the alphabets. So where do we actually do the combining of stitches? Now this is something I love to do. You know me, I love decorative stitches, but when you can show me all these cool decorative stitches and when I pick one I get a row of them, but what if I could kind of string a couple of these stitches together and create a new combination of stitches? I am all over that. I hope you'll take a peek at our Stitching Cosmos online course that we have designed for Husqvarna Viking sewing machines, where you get to master over 25 different sewing techniques and 18 different presser feet. There's links below this YouTube video for you to check out. All right, so we're going to come right down to the lower edge here, and the third icon over has an A and a zigzag stitch next to it. When you touch it, you're going to notice that your stitch area opens up like it's an open memory, and whatever you touch next is going to appear and start to combine with the next stitch you pick after that. So what if we were to go to some of these stitches? And I'm going to just pick one right here from our menu C, stitch number 22, and then let's just pick stitch number 23. So there's two stitches together. Now here's a little trick, and I'll show you some that will work better than others, is by looking to see where the stitch actually starts and stops. These two happen to start and stop in the center of the stitch, so they hook up really easy. When you're ready to stitch it out, touch the check mark at the lower edge and watch. It will draw those stitches together. See how they connect really nice. Now if you want to go back and edit what you've done here, maybe change something or add an additional item, you're going to touch the edit feature, and that's that little square with a pencil on it. So it leaves what you have been working on, and then maybe we add one more combination. We could add something like this. Now see how there's like a little V to that? Why not flip that around and now it's more continuous? Let's do that. Let's look at that feature, check mark. Now we have a nice combination. You can see where it starts to repeat as it sews all the way down and then starts again back at the top. But I love that this is a screen that really shows you how it's going to continually look. Now let's say that's the most beautiful stitch you've ever seen and you want to save it. We'll be using the save feature, which is the first heart on the lower part of our machine. And watch this. I usually don't give it a lot of information. Oftentimes you'll see me just add like a number to that, and then it will save it as just number 4. But when I show you where you retrieve those, you'll see where you're just really looking for this kind of combination that you kind of have done, but you don't remember where it is. So here is how to do another one. So if you just touch that A to Z, or A, it looks like a Z, it's A and a zigzag next to it. When you go back in, it clears it out. That's why it was important that if you want to edit what you've done, you touch that little square with the pencil that was on the previous screen. So when you go back in here, clears it out. Let's do something else. Now you kind of saw me use a mirror image. So one of those things that can be kind of fun is to put two stitches together and mirror image their flip or flop. So depending on which one you like, and actually neither of those really do anything as much as I thought. So I'm going to just touch the trash can once and twice and it will disappear. Let's take a look at a different stitch. Let's just play around with some combinations here as we look at some opportunities. So what about like a stitch, let's do this one, where we can flip that one around and then we have a new little combination. So that is something I do like to do. It's often used the same stitch, but mirror image its second one, and then that way you get a new combination. So it looks a lot more unique than just a row of stitch after stitch after stitch. Again, if I want to save it, and I'm going to do this just because I can show you what that looks like. I'm going to give it a number 5 and save it. So where is it actually saving it? I'm going to just go back, pick a random stitch so you can see that we're no longer in our memory that we're programming. And to retrieve stitches that we have saved, we're going to be looking for this yellow folder, and this is where they hang out. Now, if your stitches are showing with the what you titled them. They will have 1, 4, and 5. Apparently those are the numbers I used, but I always touch this little box with the 9 boxes next to it because what I'm looking for are the pictures. And like I said, that's what's a little easier to remember. So if I want that last stitch that I made, I'm going to touch it. Nothing happens, but if I touch and hold, that's when it appears on the screen. If I want the first one we saved, in touch and hold, and then it appears. I love that I could go back and forth between these combinations right here on the screen. If you're ever saving settings for a stitch that you have fallen in love with and you save that, it will also appear right here. So this isn't just for combining only different stitches together. It can also be where you save stitches. And here, we'll link right up here to this top corner where that video will explain saving settings for a stitch or multiple stitches in the machine. All right, so if you do find a comment, the information in here and combinations is truly unlimited, where you can come in and you can play around. And remember those multi-directional stitches where we could actually put together some bigger scallops, for example, and insert in between those stitches that are directional stitches. So if I was to stitch and move them around and then sew those out, you're going to see that I have multiple stitches. Maybe I'd like this one to pop back down. So if I came down, I can also add stitches back in too. And I didn't count how many I had done here, so we'll see what I kind of get. All right, so I have kind of the up-down version. Actually, that kind of came out about right, but I would have wanted to make sure that if I had added 6 stitches this way, that I had 6 exact stitches coming back towards me. Again, I can save that, give it a new, fresh number or letter. Sometimes I'll just give it an A, and then that will save it into our memory. There it is right there. Again, if you want to delete something from this memory, touch it, and then reach down and touch the trash can on the screen, and it'll double check. Are you sure you want to do that? Which I love. So I hope you'll try out some amazing combinations. We do a lot of combining in our Husqvarna Viking Stitching Cosmos online course. So if you think this is just a little bit of fun, wait till we dive into over 6 hours of information of decorative stitches, presser feet, and sewing techniques.